back to building the tree, one dream at a time. No, that's not right. Building the dream, one tree at a time. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in again. We got some exciting stuff going on today. So, as I've discussed in the past, this whole house, what house? All right, if you haven't been watching, I'll give you a little quick recap. My wife and kids and I, we are building our off-grid dream house on our own piece of land using our own trees. Milled them up into timbers with our Woodland Mills sawmill, timbers, lumber, all that. All from our own trees. All these nice trees you see behind me. Yeah, that's our house. So, it's going to be an off-grid house, which means solar power. Yeah, not going to have a line coming in from the electric company. When they quoted me how much that would cost, I said, you know what? I'd rather take that money and put it into a solar system. So, here we are. We're going to be off-grid, completely off-grid. Big house, though, so we needed a big system. So, I did some shopping around. I looked at a bunch of different kits over the past really couple of years. It's been a couple of years of researching all this and leading up to this moment right here. And the best that I found by far, I think, was Ozark Mountain Offgrid. Now, in all my Google searching, they were one of the many results that came up. But they seem to have the most comprehensive kits that included everything I need. Now, I'm not an expert on solar power. I've done a little bit of it here and there, mostly smaller systems. But I knew I needed something that included everything I needed. And I knew it had to be a company that I could actually ask questions to because Lord knows I was going to need some help. So I had kind of had my eye on their kits for the past couple of years. When it came time to order just recently, I called them, and I was delighted to be answered by a real person. Real nice lady answered the phone. I told her who I was and what I was trying to do, and she said, okay, no problem. I'll have Matt call you right back in just a little bit. Matt is the owner, and Matt did call me right back very, very soon after that. Nicest guy you'll ever meet. Great, great guy. And I told him what was going on. I told him what I was doing. He seemed to know exactly the situation. He did, because he's built his own off-grid house as well, so he could relate. He was extremely helpful. He walked me through everything. He helped me to choose the right kit, right size for my application, and his price was good too. Compared with everything else out there on the market for the quality that you're getting, great price. And especially just the fact that you call the company and you speak to a person, you speak to the owner himself, and he walks you through everything. Yeah, you can't get that from a lot of these other companies. So anyways, Ozark Mountain Offgrid, highly recommend. So far, they've been awesome. So I ordered the kit, and it came delivered by their own delivery guy, whose name was Paul, by the way, which I thought was pretty great. Great name. That's my name. Yeah. Paul was great with the delivery. So yeah, no issues on any of that. It's here, guys. I almost can't believe it. It's like Christmas morning. My solar kit from Ozark Mountain Offgrid has arrived this morning. Whew, excited. So yeah, we got inverters right here. This box, I don't know what's in it yet. Find out here in a second. There's a bunch of hardware, mounting solar panels, instructions. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Here we got the rails for mounting everything on the roof. We got the batteries. Each one over 60 kilowatts. There's 2 of them. Yeah, that'll run the house for a little bit. Some heavy batteries. And of course, the solar panels themselves. There's a lot of them. 64 panels. It's about 35 kilowatts of power. Yeah, I think that'll work. Let's see. Oh yeah. 31 in this box, 31 in that box, and then 2 more over there. I got some work ahead of me. Man, it's exciting. Well, thank you, Ozark Mountain Offgrid, for this awesome kit. I think it's going to do well. Keep this house powered up. Here's what we got. Yeah, it's a monster of a house, I know. And then with the barn, the workshop we're going to have in here, we're going to have all kinds of stuff to power up. So hopefully this kit keeps up. I think it will. I don't think it'll have any issues. Well, let's unpack stuff and get installing. All this stuff just got delivered this morning from Ozark Mountain Offgrid. The delivery driver was great, by the way. He had a great name. You know what his name was? Paul. Not even kidding. Not even kidding. All right, what do we have here? This is a PV combiner box. Okay, combiner box for the solar panels. Yep, Paul just drove this all the way from Missouri. And helped me unload it all, and now the real work begins. Ooh, fancy. Look at all that. That's fancy stuff. I guess solar panels will, oh, there you go. Different strings of solar panels will clip into that. And then inside here, combines it all. And then we got breakers. And I guess we'll hook up to the main lugs on these, get it out to the inverters. Yeah, it's all pretty straightforward. Alright, and here's the inverters. Mounting bracket, I guess. Some extra insulation for my house. Ooh. Shiny. That's a little bit heavy. We're just gonna leave it in the box for now. There it is. Ain't it beautiful? All right, got this square D breaker panel. What's this? Oh, look at that. Looks like it came with a breaker starter pack. A couple of 30s and 320s, that's nice. So there we go, that's gonna be my panel. And it came time to start installing. It was a little overwhelming at first, you know, you get all the boxes, all these different components, and so I called him again and said, "Hey, can you help me sort all this stuff out?" I had a list of questions. He answered them all. He got me all squared away. So now I think I'm pretty comfortable with how the install needs to go. So we're gonna get started on that now. All right. So here's what we got. Here are the components. First of all, we have the Solark 15K inverters, 2 of them. Big system, need 2 inverters. Look at that. That's the inside, isn't it cool? 2 of these big bad boys. Then over here we have a combiner switch. This is where the power from these 2 are going to come into here. We got a big shut off, and it's going to go out. They're going to combine from here and then out to the main panel over there. This smaller combiner switch is for the generator. So it's going to have a line going to outside to the generator hookup into here, again with the big shut off, and it's going to split that power between these 2 inverters. That's how that works. We've got these nice gutter boxes or wireway boxes came with it to make a nice clean install. You'll see what I mean once we put it together. And then of course we got the electrical panel right here. And yep, there it is. So this is kind of how it's going to be configured when I mount it on the wall. So we're going to build a wall right here. We're going to frame a wall, and we're going to mount all this. Oh, one more thing, the batteries. Details. Batteries are going to be directly behind the stud wall that I'm going to frame out, directly behind these two. So we don't have to use long wires going out to the batteries. Those are some big wires, high amps. So we want them as close to the batteries as possible. And these batteries are huge. In fact, let me show you how big they are. They are about 3 feet by 4 feet by 3 feet tall, weigh about 1,200 pounds. There's two of them. So yeah, we don't want these things right in front of where these inverters are mounted, because that'll obstruct access to these. So we're going to put them right on the other side of the wall that we're framing. That way they're super close and everything's accessible from either side. So that's how we're going to do that. Now we're going to frame a wall, mount all this stuff up. Whew. Just got this pallet jack yesterday. I don't know how I would have moved these things around without it, because they are heavy. Tell you what. Alright, now that we got ourselves a wall framed, we're going to add some blocking wherever needed to support all these big old components. Alright, for my next trick, I'm going to attempt to pick up this massive Ozark inverter and hang it on the wall by myself without throwing out my back. Here goes nothing. How heavy is it? Let's see. Say on here. Can't see where it says how much it weighs. Maybe they don't want to tell me because they don't want me to. They don't want to scare me. Well, I ain't scared. Oh. Really should just get some help. A little higher. Oh shit. Woo. Alright, here we go. Woo. That it? Is it on there? Woo. Yeah. Nope. Only partially. Now it's on there. Woo! Yeah, that wasn't no joke. Guess I get to do the other one now. All right, got them both on there. I just looked it up, by the way. It says they weigh 135 pounds each. I don't know if I believe that. It felt like heavier than that. Woo! All right, now that we got these things mounted, next thing we're gonna do is mount these gutter boxes underneath them, throwing conduit down into them. So we got all these knockouts in here. See from down here, so we got grid, we got load, we got generator, PV, battery, comm, battery, we got a positive and a negative there. PV is the solar panels. That's a photovoltaic panels. Now we got the comm wire for these two inverters to talk to each other. Then we got the generator knockout, got the load one that I've just knocked out, and then the grid, and that is the only one I'm not going to use because I won't be tied to the grid. I don't need no stinking grid. Now before I go any further, just got to make a quick disclaimer. Don't use anything that I say or do here as gospel truth. This is the way that I'm doing it here. This is the way that it's supposed to be done here. But if you're doing your own electrical work or solar power work and your inspector doesn't like the way you're doing it, don't tell them, oh, well, I saw this guy on YouTube and he did it like this. He's just going to laugh at you and tell you, hey, don't listen to everything you hear on the internet, okay? electric codes are not the same everywhere, so don't use this as, you can use my advice, you can use it as a help, but you check your own, check the electrical codes in your locality before you do any of your own work, because this it could be different. And for those of you who are electricians and you want to carry out my work, I can take it. Go ahead, show me what I'm doing wrong. We'll see. All right, got that out of the way. Now let's start hooking this stuff up. Got almost everything wired up. We got this line coming from the generator. This is the generator combiner / shutoff panel. From there, the lines go over to each of the inverters. Then it goes into right there where it says gen. Those are the two lines, and then the neutral. Then from the load of each of these, that's this guy right here, the load of each of these inverters, they go out to, down through the gutter box and up into this main combiner panel. And I still gotta attach my ground into place there, but anyways, so the two lines from each and then neutral in the middle combines into our big lines that go over and into our main panel. And there we got two lines, the neutral, the ground. Ground is bonded because that's required here. And here we go. Now we just got to put in the battery cables. They're going to go into there. Oh, and then the comm wires, the communication wires between the two inverters. So we're going to do the comm wires and the battery cables. And then we're going to turn this thing on and see if it works.
Actually, your panels are not set up correctly.
All right, we got everything wired up. We got the wires run from the generator plug to this combiner box. From the combiner box to each individual inverter. Then from the inverters to this main big combiner box, and then from this big combiner box to the main panel. Yeah. A lot of wires. And then we got the batteries hooked into these. So, first step is to turn on the batteries, which we just did. Step 2 is to check the voltage of the batteries. Should be around 48. It's just not showing voltage. There we go, 52.9. Okay, that's about right for 48 volt system. I got Ethan here, he's pretty tech savvy, unlike myself, so he's gonna help me out with this. What's the next step, Ethan?
Well, next step is to power them on.
Oh shoot.
Keep your hands clear of the panels.
There's one.
You might have to switch the breakers to on, because right now they're off.
Which breakers? These?
Those look like they're on the DC side.
Yeah. There it goes.
We got power.
Woo! Look at that. Pretty lights. All right. Now what?
Now we go through a boring setup.
Boring setup. Okay.
Bunch of menu screens, switching settings.
All right, let's do it. Okay, well, turn that on. Slave first.
Yep, slave first.
All right. And we wait.
I say wait till it's started up.
Okay.
It's not measuring the battery voltage yet, so once it actually starts thinking. Alright, it's just rolled up a bit.
Okay, so. It's the cold, man. It's a little slow and cold. I'm the same way. Okay. Alright. Now, I want to see if it stays the setting. You can turn it on.
Yeah,
I did. Alright, good. Alright, cool. So, what now?
What now?
So next step.
Well, we're ready to go now. We need to run the master through the basic setup.
Okay. Alright. I guess we're good, right? Can you turn on some breakers? Well, actually, I can't turn on some breakers yet because I don't have any outlets installed. So now we can turn on these breakers. And these are going to go to power this up, which is going to stop here until I turn this on.
Yeah.
So, I hit that one?
Sure.
Alright, now I want to check. This is going to be alternating current now. We're going to go... Oh no, that's the generator. Alright, so they're turned on, but they're not communicating. What the heck? Check the settings again. Parallel.
Hey Paul, what's your serial number?
It's on 1.
Mine's on 1.
Ah! Well, so put yours on 2 then.
Alright.
Hey, look, the green LED's on.
Woo!
Now, okay, so let's flip these on now.
Oh, look at that. We got power.
Oh, we got power! Yeah! We got power, y'all! Alright, well that took a little bit of figuring out, but we got it done. So there it is, guys. We have a power system here. Hook my generator up to it until I get the solar panels installed. But with these massive batteries right back here, these things are huge. And they will go on for a very, very long time. So, let's test this thing. So over here in this elbow is where the solar panel wires will go in once I get those installed. In the meantime, that's what that screen looks like. Yep, all kinds of cool stuff on there. All right, so I went ahead and put in one breaker. Whoops. Popped in one breaker, one little outlet. I know it's not finished, it's not all up to code yet. This is just for testing purposes, but I got a compressor right here we're gonna use to test it. Figure if it can power this thing up, it works. There we go. Moment of truth. It works. All right. Yep. It works. Woohoo! We got power. We got the power! All right, well that's exciting stuff. We have power at our house here. Like power not requiring a generator. Okay, I take that back. I still need a generator now to keep these batteries charged for now until I get the solar up. But I don't have to run the thing constantly. I can just run the generator until the batteries are charged enough. And then we're good. We have plenty of power to use for a long, long time until they run dry. But that's not going to happen because we're not using much power out here. It's just to run that compressor every once in a while, to recharge power tool batteries and that kind of stuff. So we are set for a good while. As soon as we're able, as soon as the weather cooperates and all that, we're going to get those solar panels installed. So that's going to be the topic of another video. So stay tuned for that. But I'm glad we got this far. Glad we got this, the inverters and the panels and all that good stuff hooked up. So I'm happy. I'm happy. Hopefully you guys learned a little something from this. I know I learned a lot installing it. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, and I'll be back when it comes time to hook up some solar panels. we'll show you how that's going to go. I want to give one more thank you to Ozark Mountain Offgrid. These guys were great. I had an issue, by the way, when I was, you saw how we were struggling with getting these things hooked up. I just couldn't quite figure it out. So I called them. I said, hey, what am I doing wrong here? He picked the phone right up, and I was able to talk to him. He walked me through the problems and helped me out. So once again, I cannot recommend them enough. Ozark Mountain Offgrid. They're awesome. They're great. So for all of your solar power / off-grid needs, or even on-grid, all this stuff can be used on-grid as well. You know, you can be hooked up to the grid and use all this. So not exclusively off-grid, but they do have all that off-grid stuff. So once again, big shout out, Ozark Mountain Offgrid. Matt, thank you. Thank you for this awesome system. More to come when I get those solar panels on. So again, thank you all for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give us a thumbs up. Share our videos. We need to get these out there. We need to gain a little more traction here on the tube. So help us out with that. Thank you for keeping up with us this far, and we'll catch you on the next one. God bless.